All right, we are back. Dynasty Trades in 5. I'm Clay.
I'm Shane.
With the first pick of our annual podcast draft or YouTube draft, we're going to take Dynasty Trades in 5 with the 101.
Very nicely done. Very nicely done. All right, so tonight we're actually going to be doing a profile on the 101. So as if you had the 101 in the draft, you're sitting on that pick right now, or maybe you're not sitting on it, but you want to move up with your assets and get that 101. Maybe Breece Hall. So yeah, let's get going with that. Scott, you are up, my friend. What are your thoughts about the 101 in general this year? Last year it was Trevor Lawrence. How do you feel about the strength of the 101 right now?
Well, I mean, pre-draft, before we knew any of the landing spots, I think there's a lot of ambiguousness at quarterback and at wide receiver. I think most of us can probably say we've done shows before on this class, and I think we're pretty confident there's going to be a lot of receivers that go in first round just by default, because that's where the talent is this year. That's where the NFL is going to draft the most skill players, is going to be a wide receiver in the first couple rounds, like dynasty relevant range. But right now, I mean, if you're just talking the 101, you already have a locked-in asset, a locked-in top 8 at the very, very worst running back in a landscape where all the running backs, or at least half the running backs in the top 24 or so, are on their second contract. They're 25 or older. At any point, you could have a roster with 2 of those guys that are on their second contract, and within 1 or 2 years, you're needing to replace them. So I think we've seen accelerated value for these running backs. It's not a shocker that all of the running backs that are inside the top 5 are on their second or third year, or going to be rookies like Breece Hall. So if you have the 101, you're sitting in the catbird seat. I guess the question becomes, I have, I believe, 5 101s. And right now, if I had to pick, I'm going to take Breece Hall in all 5. The good thing is I don't have to pick right now. But the real question is, do I want to wait until after the NFL draft to consider moving around, which could be risky too, because, I think most of us could agree that if a certain player, maybe that's probably Malik Willis, goes to a certain spot, gets certain draft capital, you could talk yourself into, okay, he's a pretty ironclad, locked in 102. Kenneth Walker. I know Shane doesn't like Kenneth Walker, but there's a chance that Kenneth Walker could go as high as Breece Hall, higher than Breece Hall. I know Shane's probably going to shake his head. But it's possible. It's possible that Kenneth Walker goes to a really good spot and he's the first running back off the board. Not that I'm going to like Kenneth Walker over Breece Hall, or I'm going to like Malik Willis over Breece Hall. But does the person sitting at the 102 or the 103 feel the pressure to need to pay what they would pay right now to move up? I think right now, the person at 103, at least me, my teams where I have 103, I'm sitting there going, man, like, what can I add? How can I cheaply get up to the 101? You know what I mean? Can I do it without having to give up like a locked in top 12 receiver or a locked in starter at another spot or a future first? Like, I don't want to pay. I think we would say if I have the 103, I'm not giving you a 23 first on top of the 103 to get to the 101. But that wouldn't be an unfair offer if I had the 101. You know what I mean? Like, if you really want to get this locked in piece, and then if I'm the one that's trading down from the 101, I'm like, okay, if I can get a 23 first added to get the 103 or the 102, I'm considering that, because there's a coin flip chance that I have, Kenneth Walker, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Kenneth Walker in a first for Breece Hall if I can end up doing that. So I think it's right now the conundrum of, do I wait? If I wait, there's a chance that the tier will be 102, 103. And that's like a tier where nobody really wants to move to the 101, or at least at the price it would cost right now.
Right.
Or it could go the other way. After the 101, everyone else could just get crapped on. And it's like, man, if I have the 102, it's really worth like the typical year's 105. Like, it's a mountain to get up to the 101. So I think you have to really assess your team and then determine, how much risk you want to take before the draft.
Shane, what do you think?
I like the 101 in this class. I like the 101 a lot. I like the 101 as much as I like it in most years. I feel like you got an absolute stud in Breece Hall, and you have a quarterback that could be a top 8 quarterback, right? What more could you want out of the 101? Just unfortunately, after that, I don't know. So like Scott said, I'm not moving off that 101 unless you're coming hard. Like, it's going to involve at least a 2023 first. Again, even if I don't need a running back, I'm going to draft Breece Hall, and I'll trade him later. You know what I mean? When his value picks up, he's going to be worth more to me than if you're not coming correctly at this time. You know, we were just talking about in another show we did, what we would accept for him, right? Well, in this rookie draft, you're going to have to pay me Justin Jefferson, and you're not going to pay me that, but I'm not going to take less than that. Not in this rookie draft.
Are you going 101 or the 103 and the 106?
I mean,
101. 101.
Unless this is start 12. Yeah, I'm going the 101.
Well, I won't even say it because you can't get a 23 first for the 106.
No.
So that 23 first and the 103 would be almost like the bare minimum that I would entertain.
What if it's the 101 or the 102 and the 107?
No, I don't think 102 and 103 are that big of a difference because I'm pretty sure we can fairly project Willis and Walker to kind of be in the same tier based on need. So I actually am not. If I have the 103, I'm not desperately trying to get to the 102 unless it's like a 16-team super flex or something like that where, you know, I'd rather take the quarterback. But if it's a coin flip, I don't see those picks as any different this year.
Would you rather have the 101 or the 103 and DJ Moore?
That's close. That's really close. I mean, if Kenneth Walker lands in a good spot, you could tell yourself, hey, I'd rather have DJ Moore and Kenneth Walker than just one running back. You know, I think if we threw out a deal of, you know, top 15 receiver and a lesser running back, it's almost the same thing as pivoting off of the running back for a future first. You know what I mean? It's the same type of idea. It's just not a first. It's a receiver instead.
Shane, the 101 or the 103 and DJ Moore?
Yeah, I'm gonna lean DJ Moore. Let's see if I actually accept it. If that's in my inbox, go ahead and send it out, people. But I'm leaning DJ Moore, and I'm actually hoping that means Malik Willis is going to fall to me at 103. To be honest with you, rather than the running back wide receiver duo. But I'd be okay with it if I ended up with Kenneth Walker and DJ Moore.
If that's Waddle or Higgins, is that a smash accept?
Higgins.
For me,
Higgins, yeah.
Higgins,
Waddle, probably. I'll think about it, but probably likely. They're all in that same.
I mean, I think Waddle and Higgins are seen as like a small tier ahead of DJ Moore at this point.
Okay, so let's talk kind of strategy around the 101. Okay, you're a middle of the road team. You've got the 101, and you're open to moving back. You're open to not having Breece Hall on your roster. What is the farthest you tier down in terms of picks if you're going to move down? I know obviously it depends on what's on top, but are you only going to go as far as 104? I mean, we don't even like 103 necessarily, but help me out there. So you'll move from 101. What is the furthest you'll go?
104 because I'm going to get the wide receiver one of the class, like Walker, and then I'm going to be heartbroken if someone fools me and takes Garrett Wilson because he's the wide receiver one now, damn it. But I can at least get Garrett Wilson there. And then on my second pick, I'm assuming that's like the 107, 109, right? Yeah, that's the second pick I'm getting from them, right, Clay? Something around there. Okay, fine. And I can get, you know, Jamison Williams or Treylon Burks or, you know, there's another receiver I'll get there. But 104 is, I want the shot at whoever I believe to be the wide receiver one of the class.
Okay, so 101 or 104 and a 23 first.
You read my mind. That's where I was going. I wouldn't want to accept a 104 and then a lesser pick in this class.
Yep.
But knowing where I am with the 23 first and how seemingly hard they are to get now compared to even like 2 months ago, it's almost like the advantage might be that if you see one come available in your league because of like a snapshot moment in the market, because we just saw the draft and people are super excited about where the 101 is going to be projected. Like you almost kind of take that draft pick on top of the 104 and just hope that the tiers fall your way, you know, and what's the worst thing that can happen? They either leave you your wide receiver one or they leave you Malik Willis. And I mean, I have a lot of teams
or you buy someone, or you buy a vet
right
with that 104 and you've got that 23 first in your back pocket.
Well, and I think like what Shane said, it's not guaranteed that I can see some drafts, especially if Willis falls in the NFL draft and he goes to somewhere in like the mid-teens. That doesn't lock his profile into like, okay, I cannot pass him up in the top 3 or 4. And there'll be teams that go, you know what? Like I saw what happened last year with the quarterbacks, and this is the only pick I have. It's not ride or die if I hit on this quarterback or not. And I'm just going to pass, and I'm going to let the next person potentially jump on the landmine. And then all of a sudden you're sitting at the 104 or 105 and you're like, man, I have Josh Allen and Justin Herbert. Like I don't need Malik Willis, but you might actually be sitting in a spot where you're like, man, I might be able to now move this pick because it is a quarterback, and I'm not afraid to take a third quarterback just because I'm set. So I actually think you could trade back into the 104, 105 this year, and a Malik Willis share could fall in your lap, but I need that 23 first. I mean, that's going to be the icing on the cake. That's got to be included in the deal. And I don't think pre-draft I would go further than the 104 because of what Shane said. I still want my shot at the 101 receiver.
So would you rather have the 101 or the 206 and 223 first?
223 first. I'm going to take 223 first, sir.
Yeah, so I think I'd have to go with the 23 first because I'm pretty sure I could buy back into the class if I wanted. Like I'm pretty sure I could buy that 103 maybe with the 23 first potentially.
Yeah.
So that's a good one, Clay. I hope I don't have any 101s in leagues with Clay because I know Clay's got a bunch of 23 firsts, so he could be. I talk a big game on here until I have that 101. I'm like, man, can I counter and get the extra second? You know what I mean?
How about Cam Akers and the 102 or the 101?
Cam Akers has not as much resale value on the market as I thought he would get at this point. I'm going to hold on to the 101. Which means, yes, I value DJ more than Cam Akers.
It's always fun when you ask these deals because then you're kind of like trying to deconstruct what we've said in the past.
Right.
That's tough because I think I could probably flip either Walker or Akers for a 23 first and still come out of the head of that trade. But it's tough. It's tough. You try to trade like a guy like Akers for a 23 first right now, and you may have a couple people in your league that are willing to even consider it, but a lot of people are like, you know what, I'm not in a position to trade my pick. So I think I'd hold on to the 101. What we know right now, that could change, and you might not be able to get that deal in like 4 weeks.
Okay, so if you have the 101 and there's and you want a quarterback, obviously, we can't bank on Malik Willis just yet, especially as we're talking April, whatever day it is, almost tax day. I need to do this. So if I were to throw the 101 on top of the 108, would you give me Dak Prescott?
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm giving you the 108 and I get the 108 and 101.
You're giving up Dak.
Yeah. I'm playing the upside on that. Yep. Dak's in my lowest tier of quarterback once. I'm willing to risk it. I'm willing to risk it.
I'll push that back on you, Shane. How high are you willing to go? I offer you a 23 first, the 101, and we'll just say a replacement level starter, maybe like a Carson Wentz or Ryan Tannehill type. You give me Herbert?
No.
So I assume Allen, Herbert, Mahomes are untouchable unless I add like another 23 first.
Yeah.
All right. If you made it this far, thank you for joining. Visit the channel, check out the playlist, and hit that subscribe if we earned your business. Hit the like if you didn't already and you actually liked it. And make sure to comment below if you have any ideas for the show, any thoughts on what we said or didn't say. Just let us know. We try to respond to all of them. We'll see you soon.